Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another of Spark Ventures Funding's webinars. And today we've got another two very exciting businesses to present to you today, as we always do, of course. We have Moby Bikes and we have Social Voice, who are both live on the platform at the moment and doing very, very nicely. But before I do the introductions into them, I'd just like to give you a quick minute on Spark. We've just rebranded, as you can see, as you will have hopefully seen in the emails that we've been sending out to you recently. Reason for that is that we wanted to better reflect what we actually do, and we thought that the crowdfunding moniker probably didn't do us as much justice as we do. So we obviously connect Irish investors with high growth venture level opportunities. We want to continue with the focus on sophisticated equity-based investments and not the donations or rewards that are often perhaps thought about when crowdfunding is mentioned. We obviously provide access to companies that are often eligible for really good EIS rebates, tax rebates, which we're very happy to introduce to you. And obviously, we want to continue to operate with our zero commission policy, and so ensuring that every euro that you put into a company goes into that company as well. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to better reflect where we actually are and what we do, and we hope that the Spark Venture Funding brand is going to reflect that as well. Let's move on to what we are actually going to do today, and that is the introduction into the two companies that are going to be live. They're both really good investment opportunities, as you both know. They're both EIS qualifying companies at 35%. And they've got, of course, highly qualified personnel operating the businesses, and you're about to find out about those, of course. As always, we will try and wrap this all up by 2 o'clock today. Obviously the normal process is that if you've got a question that you'd like to ask either of the companies, then please put it into the Q&A, not the chat, and then Fergal and I can get those questions asked to them, and hopefully you'll hear the answer that they give to you on that. So first of all, we've got Moby Bikes. Thomas, if you'd like to start your camera, and I think there's a couple of the other guys also coming onto the platform as well, or coming onto the webinar rather. So many of you will be familiar with Moby. Not only will you have seen their bikes around town, but of course they did their initial funding round on Spark back in 2021, where they raised 800,000 euros at the valuation at the time of 5 million euros. That was the biggest raise that we'd ever done at that time, and the fastest raise that we'd ever done at that time, and was backed by a very good number of investors through the Spark platform, and we were delighted to do that. But obviously, since then, Moby has grown significantly. Since then, they've won tenders all over Ireland and have expanded into Europe, where they now have their European headquarters over in Utrecht. They have done a lot of additional elements rather than just the bike sharing. They've now gone into cargo bike sharing, and they've got a very nice patented piece of technology that Thomas will talk to you about very, very shortly. So Thomas, very welcome to the webinar, and if you'd like to start your presentation and perhaps even introduce the team as you wish, please go ahead and do so. I'll merge myself into the background, and I'll see you in about 10 or 12 minutes time.
Thank you, Chris. So I'm going to present Moby Bikes today. Thomas O'Connell is my name, and the team will be doing some of the presentation as well. Alan Brown, who runs the CEO of our Strim division, and if we can get Stephen on, I think we're struggling a bit, but if we can get him on, he's going to run through the financials as well. I'll just share my screen now and get started. And let me know, Chris, if you wouldn't mind, if everybody can see it.
Yep, that looks good. Presentation mode, and we should be good to go.
All right, slideshow. Yeah. Everything okay? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. So Moby. So what we do, the proposition that we're discussing today is an investment in a run rate profitable business with strong organic growth. natural opportunities over the next few years, and then potential upside with some M&A opportunities and a transformative tap and ride technology that we have been developing for the last 2 years, and it's now at, I suppose, beta stage. And so in a nutshell, what we actually do, our core business is effectively bike sharing slash bike leasing or cargo bike sharing. And that business is about it's a 5 million stroke 6 million revenue run rate business today. 40% B2B, 20% B2G, where cities pay us, and then we have about 40% B2C. And the second part of the business is Strim, and that's a technology we've been developing for about 2 years now. It's at beta stage, and it's something we're going to be able to enable other operators around the world they will be enabled to be able to take credit card payments instead of using an app to rent their vehicles. But I'll get into it in detail in a few slides later. Just a snapshot of our customers and partnerships across delivery, Domino's, Just Eat Takeaway, government. We work with the Dutch police in Holland, obviously Dublin City Council, where we've been for the last 6 years, Wicklow County Council, The Hague, Municipality of Utrecht, the European Parliament also in Strasbourg. Some of our corporate relationships, Sports Ireland, East Point Business Park, Hilton Hotels, Dublin Airport Authority, and partnerships with the likes of FreeNow, MasterCard, and Payzone. Our bike share division, we are the largest private operator of bike share schemes in Ireland. We've won the most tenders when it comes to what we call, I suppose, the B2G business, where cities pay us to actually operate in the town, like Athlone, Mullingar, etc. And we're the second largest operator in Europe for cargo bike sharing. It's currently a 2 million revenue business, and we're forecasting to get to 8 million by 2029. And that's simply by adding 600 bikes a year into our existing operation. So when I said earlier, it's more natural organic growth, is what we do every day. And we plan to just keep doing that between now and 2029. And that will grow us to about an 8 million business simply by doing that. We only operate B2C in profitable locations. So Dublin, for example, we have bikes on the street. We make money by the public renting those bikes. But for locations that aren't profitable, we simply ask the municipalities to pay us to operate there, which makes it profitable for us then. There are large tenders coming up in Ireland worth about 8 million euros between 2026 and 2028. All B2G, fully funded by the NTA, basically. And in Europe, you've got tenders worth about 2 million a year happening for cargo bike sharing at the moment in a lot of small cities. And then a natural tailwind in the business is that there's an 88 billion euro social climate fund, whereby cities will be able to draw down for various climate initiatives. And we see cargo bike sharing and bike sharing being a large part of that over the next few years. So it's nice to have it. Our fleet leasing division, we mainly operate in Holland. We provide e-bikes as a service to delivery companies and corporates. Typical example is if you go to, I'd say, Domino's Pizza in Holland, there'll be 10 bikes outside. They're typically provided by a company like ourselves who basically charge a fee per bike per month. And in exchange, Domino's get the bike uptime, basically. It's currently a 3 million revenue business, and we're targeting organic growth of about 20% over the next 4 to 5 years. But our actual growth strategy, our primary growth strategy in this space is acquisitions. There's about 17 companies in Holland that have 1 to 2 million euros in revenue, and we've got 3 active acquisition discussions underway today. And we do have a disciplined approach when it comes to that. And we're late stage due diligence on one company, and we're hoping to actually add that in first quarter next year. I'm going to hand the next part over to Alan Brown. He's the CEO of Strim. Alan, over to you.
Yeah, cheers, Thomas. Hope you guys can all hear me here okay. It might be a little bit loud in the background, but yeah, so what are we trying to solve, I guess, with Strim, Strim Tap and Ride? Well, it's really about removing friction from the process and making shared bikes and scooters accessible. So right now we're seeing a lot of high abandonment rate and people walking past bikes and scooters on the street because they don't want to download them in their app. They don't want to spend 5 minutes doing it. We're also seeing a lot of intense competition between operators. So in some cities, you might have as many as 4 operators operating bikes. So they're all trying to differentiate. So we believe there's an opportunity for us to help these operators to differentiate between them and create a lot of competitive tension. And then the cities want more accessible shared mobility. So they're looking for how can we get people on these bikes without apps, because not everybody wants these apps. And as I said, consumers just don't want another app on their phone. Just move on there, Thomas.
Sorry. There you go.
So this is their solution. It's a tap and ride, instant access. It moves from a 5-minute, 6-minute registration process to a 3-second tap on the bike, tap on the scooter, and you're riding. And really, it's in line with how it works, how it's starting to work across all transit in cities. Ireland obviously is a bit of an outlier with a Leap card at the moment, but if you go to the London, the Oyster card has been replaced by your bank card. Your bank card is now your key. We are last mile. We are the last mile for people moving around. We believe the bank card should also be the key for the bike and the scooter. So we're betting on that being a natural progression in the market. The way we get to market is we're going to build effectively. We've got the whole rails set up now. So we've got the connectivity between the hardware that would sit on the bike and the payment system and the banking and the payment processing. And we'll have a middleware software piece that will then connect in with all the fleets and the operator fleets, so that we can really quickly deploy on bike and on scooter payments. So some people calling us the stripe for on bike mobility, which could be quite interesting. So yeah, really that's what we're doing. We bring extra revenue to operators by providing this technology.
I'll just play a video.
It's a quick video, yeah.
Yeah, the sound isn't working, I think, but somebody might just.
We've created the whole logic to make it work for starting and ending rides and even pausing the rides in between, and the card being the key during all of those processes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a final bit on this, I guess. Obviously, there's a considerable market for us to go after. So across, obviously primarily across Europe and the USA, where our focus would be. We plan on selling about 7,000 units by 2029. But to give you a kind of an idea of how big it could be, I guess 500,000 units will get us make this about 100 million ARR business. So it's a real upside part of the business, the technology piece. Let me just move on to the next slide. So right now we've got early traction. As Thomas said, we're in kind of beta. We have it out. It's working in environment. We've got it in Strasbourg, working across a number of hotels. Our next step now is we're working with these operators to run some trials. So run some small kind of controlled trials within cities across Europe, prove it out, get the data, and then just create FOMO in the market. We kind of believe that once some operators start adding this payment option to their bikes, then everybody's going to start wanting to do it. So we'll be well placed. But that's it for me. Obviously, I can answer any questions later. Over to you, Thomas.
Sorry, Stephen, you're on the call. You can talk through the financials.
Yeah, I'm down as Thomas O'Connell on the link. Sorry, I just couldn't get on my own link. But okay, you can hear me, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry. So look, just in terms of the financials and the projections, so in 2025 we're just shy of the 5 million revenue mark. It's split between bike share, delivery fleet, and technology. And over the next number of years, particularly in relation to bike share, you'll see the growth going from 1.8, 3.3, 4.4, 5.5, and 7.6 in 2029 in terms of actual revenue. The main key assumptions for bike share is our cargo bike share and our e-bike normal bike share growth of about 300 bikes per year. It's a very organic assumption. It's not assuming we win any of the large tenders. That's all going to be upside. In relation to the delivery fleet, going from 3 million 4.5, 5.6, 6.6, and 7.6 in 2029. Again, it's a very organic growth assumption per year. The upside, particularly on the delivery fleet, likely will come through M&A. As Thomas mentioned earlier, we do see a lot of opportunities, particularly in the delivery fleet sector of our business. In relation to technology, obviously it's at kind of beta stage. It's not generating a lot of revenue just for now, and with a small assumption assumed of 0.4 million in 2026. 2027 to 2029 is where we would see the kind of high end actual revenue figures, where by that stage, Tap and Ride is really gaining traction with hopefully as many operators across Europe. So they're the key highlights. I think by 2029 each business actually ends up being in terms of actual revenue somewhere between kind of 7.6 7.7 million.
Thanks, Stephen. Next slide. Just a bit of the
just a quick kind of high level analysis in terms of gross profit margin and EBITDA margin in the business. Obviously, with scale, it improves particularly the EBITDA margin in the business. Just one kind of quick note in terms of gross profit margin at the moment. We do have third party bikes that go into our cost of sales at the moment, which is impacting our margin, gross profit margin figure slightly. But again, with the actual revenue figures in the previous slide, we do feel that the EBITDA margin is going to be in the kind of high 30% by 2029. And probably pretty similar to the last slide, Thomas. Yeah, just in terms of the actuals, but kind of covered it. Yeah.
Okay. Just on the team then, myself, I have been involved in wheel goods pretty much all my life. My last company was Yvolution. We were developing wheel products in Ireland. Famous product was the Flicker scooter. It was a 60 million business after 3 years. Supplier of the Year to Toys R Us 3 years in a row in America. I was nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year. At that time, we were in the middle of an exit, and I sold that business 2017, 2018 to get focused on micro mobility. Ronan's not on the call, but Ronan's our CFO. He's had a lot of experience in various VC-backed technology companies in Ireland. One of them, CR2, which was very, very successful. Salah, I'll speak about a little bit. Salah is running our fleet leasing division in Holland. His background is actually in bike sharing. He worked for Greenmo, one of the largest operators over here, and he pretty much runs that business as a dedicated P&L at the moment. Alan, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, just a quick one. I guess my background on the tech side of things, I've scaled and sold an insurtech platform which effectively located and transferred or consolidated pension money across the UK market. So I did that. I also did a little bit around the hardware. I had a startup in Ireland, a bit of a passion project that turned into something a bit bigger. That was an interesting experience. Yeah, so I've had the full circle, I guess, experience around this.
And Vasily is the head of R&D and also a co-founder. And Vasily's basically also been a successful entrepreneur in the past. He's sold his first business. He's more on the obviously mad inventor side of the business, but he's been developing products for the micromobility industry for the last 10 years. He's got some patents as well. He joined us in 2022, and will continue to do that. And then Brian Caulfield, people might know Brian in Ireland. He's a very successful investor and has been a very successful entrepreneur in the past. He runs Scale Ireland today, but he's been an investor in Moby since the start and has reinvested in every funding round and will be investing in this round as well. What else? Yeah, so we're now raising up to 2 million in equity. We've got a commitment of 500,000 from existing investors. Enterprise Ireland are on board as well to match that. It's actually a little less than 1 million to fill now, and we opened that part of the round to Spark. The use of funds is a breakdown between working capital of €500,000, continued R&D, obviously, in the Strim Tap and Ride product. We have a small amount for capital expenditure. That's because we already have a lot of debt facilities, but sometimes they will ask for a deposit. So there's a small amount for that needed. And then just general expansion and operations. So we're allocating €700,000 to that. Our plan on exit would be to exit by a trade sale or M&A in the next 4 to 5 years. If we hit our business plan, which is our organic business plan, and we get to 23 million by 2029, then we think the business could be worth 3 to 4 times what it's worth today. But we haven't baked in any of the upside into that, which is basically a combination of large tenders that we could win in Ireland and in Europe for our fleet business, M&A opportunities that exist in the fleet leasing part of the business, and also if Tap and Ride takes off globally and becomes the de facto payment method for micromobility, then we think we'll all see massive returns in terms of shareholders and I guess investors as well. I'm just going to jump to the next slide. So the summary and why we think people should invest in the business is that it's a run rate profitable business already, and the market's growing at 20% a year. So we're not a pure startup anymore. Our revenues are projected to grow more than 4 times from 6 million run rate today to 23 million in 2029. We're diverse as a business, so we're diverse across verticals and also geographies. We've got a unique technology that's ready for commercialization with huge market opportunities. Our team includes 3 successful entrepreneurs with successful exits. The milestones that we're setting to get to 23 million by 2029 are very, very achievable. I think I've said that a few times. And the market itself is consolidating at the moment. Lime are expected to IPO next year, and other companies are raising bonds, etc., almost going public as well. So we see a lot of opportunities to be acquired by a Lime or some competitor of Lime as well. So it's becoming a very interesting hot space again. And there's not, like I said in the last slide, we haven't baked in upside from large tenders. And obviously the last point is that as an investor, we qualify for EIS, so investors get an immediate 35% tax relief on their investment. I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you for your time. Is there questions now?
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Thomas. That's brilliant. Perhaps if you stop sharing your screen. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And we've got Fergal here joining us as well. So first question in, do you have a customer retention measure for B2C bike rental? So what's that looking like? What kind of churn do you have on that for when you do the B2C element?
That's mainly around bike share in Dublin, I think, and probably cargo bike share in Europe. We have about 60,000 people registered on the app, and we judge an active user as somebody who's used it once within the last 3 months, and we have about 25,000 of those. So registrations also can happen. A lot of tourists register and they're not in the country again, but that rate is quite high. So our registrations versus active users is quite good. We are obviously alone in the market as well, so we're the only e-bike share company in Ireland. So yeah.
Very good. Okay.
That's why it's so good. I suppose.
I have some questions here regarding Strim. So what's the competition like for the technology? Is there any patents on it? And just also the second part of that is how robust is the unit on the bike? Damage, is it susceptible to damage, etc.? And how about servicing that device as well?
Yeah, will I jump in, Thomas?
Sure.
Yeah, so the first one was, sorry, give us the first one again, Fergal.
The competition. So what's the competition?
Oh, yeah, sorry. The competition is there is one other operator that has a payment option built into a bike that they manufacture. So where we're very different is we're a universal option for existing fleets. So with us, all you need to do is buy into the payments piece. You don't have to change the type of fleet you have to suit the bike that I'm selling you. So our only competitor has it built into their bike. It's a very different proposition. In terms of the patent, we don't have a patent on the payment side of things. But what we do have is we're effectively creating a Strim all-in-one product, which includes you get your hardware, which is your card reader, your special payment application, your special payment IoT, which communicates with the bike IoT. So we spent 18 months developing that with a card terminal manufacturer. So we've a deal with them. We'll package it up into a Strim unit, which we'll put onto the bikes. It'll be Strim, and that they'll deal with. And then we have that middleware software that just connects and has API connectivity for all the data to flow through from Strim into the operators, so they have all that information. So we'll sit in there as the business that they're dealing with.
Excellent. And just in terms of the robustness of the device as well and the servicing of it, Alan, what's
Yeah, look,
what's the
I mean,
testing
it's
like?
yeah, and this is an important one because it's not like putting a card reader that you get in a cafe and just stick it in on a bike, right? This is purpose built to work in an environment that is outside on a bike, rain, snow, frost, the whole lot. So it's ready made for that. And that's where all the work and effort has gone into creating that. So it's very robust, but ultimately we would have to replace them if they're broken, and that we would have the support of the manufacturer giving us the support, the technical support to ensure that we can provide that service.
Excellent. Thank you.
Just on the question around the patent as well, because it does get asked a lot, and I think I know why people are asking it. Obviously, people are wondering, will the big operators develop it themselves? The answer to that is maybe they will, maybe they won't. We're at a show in Utrecht today talking to the CEO of Dot, who is a very large operator. But we see massive potential in the small operators anyway. So even if a large operator decides they want to do this and spend 2 years developing it, et cetera, and not work with us, we think that's great because once they do it, then every other operator will need to do it. So our market will be the smaller operators who don't have a dedicated R&D team and aren't able to do this themselves. So it's not yeah. So that's our market. So we're not concerned about, let's say, having a patent exactly. So sorry, I'm jumping in there, but
Yeah,
No
no,
worries,
that's
no worries. You're allowed to do
yes.
that. You're the CEO, Thomas. So, one final. We've got a load more questions, but we've only got time for one more. But this is about somebody who invested in the first round, Thomas, and potentially investing again now. Obviously, you were talking about an exit 4 years ago when you raised initially, of probably about now, but you're raising again. But perhaps you can just kind of tell us what the expansion is likely to be, and also what kind of exit you talked about. You talked about potentially being bought out by a tier or a line, but perhaps you can just kind of elaborate on that for a quick second, please.
sorry. So yeah, 4 years ago, yeah, obviously, so the market was hot at the very start when we were in it. Then it wasn't so hot, but now it's hot again because all the operators are starting to prove themselves in terms of profitability. There's some amazing companies now in micromobility, some with 50% EBITDA margins. So the industry kind of just expanded really fast at the start. Then VC, the whole VC world kind of dried up, but now all of these companies are turning around. There's some great statistics out there if you do a quick Google on a lot of companies who are proving themselves to be profitable, etc. So the next stage, there was no crystal ball, I suppose, 4 years ago, but the next stage for those companies is obviously to consolidate even further, and they're all looking at public markets, etc. now. So the timing is now when these companies will go public, and then inevitably when they will be looking to consolidate even more and to buy out companies like Moby. Moby is probably a good target in terms of for these guys because we have the Irish market, and potentially even from a technology standpoint, we're quite interesting if they want to try and even acquire us just for the technology itself. It's obviously an exit comes when the timing is good and when the offers are good. So we would, if there was a really good offer, we'd sell the business tomorrow, but we don't see that coming probably until the market does, until these guys do go public. So it's at least probably a 2 to 3 year, even 4 year horizon at this point.
And obviously, perhaps until Strim becomes an accepted
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
kind
Yeah,
of
it wouldn't
item on
exactly.
most
Yeah,
bikes as well.
the potential wouldn't be there yet. So
Yeah, yeah.
we want to realize the potential of it first and maximize the valuation, obviously.
Very good. Okay, great. Thomas, Alan, and Stephen, thanks very much for your time. There's some really good questions. We'll get those asked to you kind of offline, and we can kind of then publish them so everyone can see the answers to those as well. So, but thanks very much for your presentation, and that'll conclude that for the moment. Thanks very much, guys. What I will do though now is introduce you all to Social Voice. Social Voice has pioneered patented technology that offers unprecedented insights into videos, social videos on YouTube, Instagram, TikToks, etc. And this is a realm into which all consumer-led companies are required significant levels of intelligence. And Social Voice has cracked this, but cracked it at scale as well. And I'm sure Fergal and Alan will go into it in great detail in a second or two. But it's all about what the influencers are saying about those particular products at the moment. And Social Voice has managed, as I say, managed to do this at massive scale, analyzing hours and hours of videos in what will be seconds. And Alan knows this since he has developed the product from scratch himself. So we've got Alan and Fergal joining us today. Fergal is an investor in Social Voice as well as the CEO, of course. He's an experienced CEO, invested and is on plenty of boards, executives in other companies as well. Led multiple early stage organizations to growth and to successful acquisition, and is a chartered accountant. Alan is co-founder and CTO, 30 years of engineering experience, inventor of 6 patents, and a senior technical leader in several companies that have had successful exits over their time as well. Gentlemen, you're very welcome. If you'd like to share your screen with your presentation, I'll slide into the background and I'll see you in 10 or 12 minutes time.
Okay, can you see that, Chris?
We can see it perfectly. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Chris, and thanks for the introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here with you to tell you about Social Voice. I'm joined by my colleague Alan O'Neill. He's our CTO. I'm CEO, as Chris mentioned. Alan is the CTO, and we'll run through a number of slides, and also Alan will do a demo so that you can we can show you inside the technology as well. What Social Voice does is we analyze video at scale. So it's about unlocking the valuable intelligence hidden inside the video. And the people who want that are global brands. They want to know what's being said about their brands, and they want to know the positive stuff, but they really, really want to know the negative stuff so that they can jump on it from a PR point of view. So a little bit about the market. On the right-hand side here, you've got a number of companies: Meltwater, Tubular, Synthesio, Sprinkler, and others. They are what's called social listening companies, social listening platforms. And between them, they generate $2.4 billion per annum. And they are the ones that do the social listening on behalf of brands, of the large brands. And how they do the social listening in video is they do it by analyzing the hashtags, the titles, the thumbnails, and really it's the text that is written around the video, but they do not get inside the video. And that's what we are bringing. We're bringing that bit. We get inside the video and do the analysis. And 90% of brand mentions are actually hidden inside the video. And that means that only 10% of brand mentions they are getting through the current social listening. And hidden 90%, the market is realizing that they need that, the brands need that to understand what is actually said. We are in a video first world, so the videos carry a video from an influencer with millions of followers carries a lot of influence in terms of the buying trends of the people listening to it and the people who are following it. And what we are doing is partnering with these market leaders to fill that gap. We have a partnership with Meltwater, and we have another one that we are signing literally in the next number of days. And nearly all of the other firms, there's 4 of these are in talks with us, some of them in more advanced talks about bringing what we do into their offering and selling our service as part of their offering to their thousands of brand customers. So in terms of video, what we do is we analyze the video frame by frame and word by spoken word. So it's getting deep inside the video to basically be able to tell things like gender, like the age, the emotion, what the scene is, and any of the video, any of the brands that are actually shown in the actual video. What I'll do now is pass you over to my colleague Alan O'Neill just to give a quick demo and show you inside our technology. So I think I'll have to unshare. So let me just do that first.
Okay, I should be on screen now, am I?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what I want to do, first of all, everyone, is just do a quick recap to let you know exactly what we're doing. Up until recently, all we had text and social media. So we had Twitter and Facebook. And from a computational point of view, analyzing text is reasonably easy. That problem has been solved, right? But the difficulty is that now we are mobile first and we are video first. Like, you go down the street and you see the kids, they're not anymore, typing away messages. They're now just sending voice messages and they're chatting away. It's all about video. And while the companies that Fergal referred to, which last year in revenue alone, not in market cap, but in revenue alone, generated over 2.4 or 5 billion in sales, right? They are all focused on the text that's surrounding the video, which is likes, hashtags, comments, description. Not one of them are yet getting inside the video, listening to what's being said and watching what's on screen. And the equivalent of that is like saying, I have read the book Anna Karenina by looking at the cover and maybe flicking at the index, but you haven't read and opened every single page and looked through it, so you couldn't possibly understand what's going on. And that's the pain that's in the market at the moment. Every single one of these social listening companies are being pummeled every day by the large brands and the mid-market to say, when are you going to get inside video? We spent the last number of years deep in research, not just me, in fairness to Chris, it's with my team. And we've unlocked this particular problem. We've cracked doing it at scale, which is really critical. And we can now get inside, as Fergal said, into a video, literally frame by frame and word by spoken word. And I'm going to show you that now. So I'm going to show you it in 2 different ways. We have one underlying technology engine, and then we have stacked multiple different products on top of that. And it serves 2 adjacent markets. One is direct B2B, our brands and our mid-market. And secondly is via partnership. So we're both owning the direct relationship and we're leveraging our partners' sales networks to help sell us as well, right? So what you're seeing on screen here is one of our internal search engines. And I'm going to run this search on a data set that we did for Unilever. So Unilever have a product which you're probably aware of called Dove, like Dove soap. And I'm going to search for that across a data set that we have of videos. And inside here, these all represent different videos. And I see this one here has a red mark. And the red mark means that something negative was said about this particular brand. And if you notice that this video is 26 minutes long, it got 126,000 views. Because it's 26 minutes long, you would have to listen with your headphones on, even at double speed, for at least 13 minutes before you hear this particular piece. Now, if I click on this, what's going to happen is it's going to jump out to the video in question. The sound is messed up on the Zoom call, but you should be able to see what's going on screen, and I'll talk over it anyway. So I click on this here. It opens out to the source video, and it shows the video there and the lady talking away, if you can hear that. She says she's skeptical about what Dove is doing, and she's pointing and talking about it in the video. And note that it found it right at the very end of the video there at minute 25. So that's critically important. Now I'll go back in and show you what else we do. We don't just find that, right? We go in, and this is what we call metadata. This is the text that surrounds the video that the current platforms can cover, and they get the summary, which is what the creator puts up, but they don't get what's inside the video. And this is where we stand out. This is where we go a mile deep. So we can pick up all of the different brands that are mentioned, all of the entities that are mentioned, all of the keywords, the hashtags, the links, etc. We follow the facial emotions, whether I'm happy or whether I'm sad. We follow the voice, whether I'm strong or whether I'm weak. We follow all these different things through the video over the period of time. We give the context of what we searched for. We have a very, very comprehensive, deep transcript of the video. And we can also identify products, objects, etc. That are inside the video. And then we can also jump to the same point in time of those. And if you look at this one here, when it jumps out to the source, there's that particular product that we identified as well. So this is just to show you the depth of data points that we can extract from a single video, and that's just scratching the surface. From a product point of view, we offer a number of different things on top of this data point extraction engine. And the first one I'm going to show you is one that we give to teams, which is to improve their workflow. As you can imagine, there's PR teams, agencies, brands all across the world, and they sit there with their headphones on day in, day out, listening to videos for all sorts of different reasons. It could be for crisis management. It could be identifying creators for sponsors. It's an absolutely ridiculously big market. We were talking, for example, to Nikon the other day, or rather the PR company that deals with Nikon, and they have 7 people on a team, right, in North America, and all they do all day long, their headphones, and listen to people talking about cameras, lenses, photography, to try and identify new and novel creators that they could send a demo camera to, who would talk about this in an authentic manner, and hopefully that marketing output will help to generate them sales, right? So this is one of the use cases. So to help them do what they do, and we've just made a sale into them for this, we produced a product on the top of our engine, which we call Video Copilot. And this is it here. Instead of looking at this particular video, and I picked this one because I have no hair and it's going to tell me how to regrow my hair in 20 days, right? It's 6 minutes long. I don't have 6 minutes to listen because I'm a busy person. So I just press this button at the top here, which says Analyze the Video. And you can see there, it brings it into the queue. And in the background, it starts analyzing the video. So what does it do? If I look at one here that was done before, there was one by Veritas, and I look at the report, it gives me one sentence, 2 sentences. It says, in that entire 30-minute video, this is summarizing it. It tells you what it is. It tells you the key takeaways. When you see a timestamp like this, you can click on the time and it will jump right to the point in the video so we can replay that. We have, as I showed you before, the full transcript. We get the creator information about the video. We get comments said, whether it was positive green or negative red. We can the individual commenters. We can identify any particular brands that were mentioned inside in that. And of course, this is on one video, but now you imagine this at scale, which is what Fergal talked to. And that's the real key that I'm going to go to in a minute. And then finally, what you can do is you can go in here and you can ask your own question of the video. So give me a summary of this video, just for example, right? And I'll ask the question. It takes video, sends it to our backend engine, and then it comes back and it gives the result of the particular question that you have. If I want to go and share that with a client, I can click on the share button. It generates a link, and they can then go off and see this, even if they don't have this tool installed. The next thing I'm going to show you is a second tool that we sell into teams for productivity. And this one is a thing that we call Integrity Report. And this is where brands spend hundreds of millions per year sponsoring videos. You all know it. It's an annoying thing. It comes up in the middle of the video, right? The problem for brands is they need to know that the creator that they're dealing with is actually brand safe. Let's take, for example, Red Bull. Red Bull could care less whether you're highly controversial or whether you're as tame as a duck, right? They just want coverage. Whereas L'Oreal are incredibly careful and sensitive about what they do, and they're highly protective of their brand. So each person has a different view. And if we go in, we can see the report, for example, and just to talk about scale again, if we look here at this one here, Mr. Beast, we analyzed in this case over 1,000 videos of his, which contained over 230 hours of video. Good luck listening to that, even as a team with your headphones on. You just can't possibly do it. We will then score and rate those, and we give very, very detailed breakdown of what's being said inside the videos, what types of brands are being talked about, the tone, the overall quality of the voice, all these different things inside in the product can be seen. And then for brands, what we can provide is we provide what we call panel data. And this is where, for example, let's say you are Google or Microsoft, one of these people right now, and you're very interested in the whole movement in AI and who's talking about who. Well, we can see here there's a small data set of 232 days full of data, where predominantly Google has the share of voice, much less Amazon or much less Microsoft, etc. And then we go in here and I can look at brand alert, which sits on top of that. And inside here, we can see airline, for example. So again, we're talking with one of our agency partners to do a project with American Airlines. And they're very interested in what people are saying about their new premium economy service. What's the cleanliness like? What are the seats like, etc., etc. We monitor all of the data that we bring in on a daily basis, and then we send alerts out based on that. So the last thing then that I'm going to talk about is then for our partner brands. Okay, so this is for our large social listening organizations that we're partnering with. One of which, as Fergal said, we're just about to sign the last dotted line in the next probably 48 hours on a contract with them for one of their top 50 companies. And that deal is worth $500,000 to us over the next 12 months. It's an annual renewing contract, and the customer themselves expect that it will probably double, if not triple, over the next 24 months or so. So what we do for them is this. We allow them to send us in any number of URLs. In this case, for example, they would send us in up to 500,000 videos per day. We will take those videos and we will transcribe those. We will look inside for brand mentions. We will look inside for sentiment, etc., etc. And we will give that analysis back to them within hours, because we can transcribe and do very deep intelligence on 1 hour of video in less than 10 seconds, which is absolutely tremendous. The scale that we can do this at is what we've been working on in research and development for the past number of years, and built up a very strong portfolio of patents, highly defendable around this. We have 6 patents granted, and we have 30 pending that we can bring out as what are called child patents off the back of this, which are extremely valuable. So we're looking forward to an amazing 2026, and we really hope you guys can join us on the journey. So I'll hand back now to Fergal.
Okay, will you unshare, Alan?
I will indeed. Hopefully it's done. Stop share. There we go.
Yeah, good. Let me go back to, yeah, and that. I need to share again. Have you got that? Can you see this? Yeah, okay. Okay, right. So just to quickly move on to thank you, Alan, for that whirlwind tour. And look, I know it was whirlwind, it was very, very fast. If anyone has any questions and wants to get into more detail on any of that and understand it more, we'll certainly can do it after this call or anyway. But in terms of scalable, I think Alan got the message across. This is scalable. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of videos being able to be done very, very quickly. We have the patents granted, 5 patents granted, and we have a growth portfolio. We have done validation projects with companies like Unilever, Mondelez, Coca-Cola, and we have a partnership agreement signed with Meltwater, finalizing the second partnership agreement with another social listening platform, and crucially, finalizing a sale with one of their customers with an annual recurring revenue of $450,000 per annum. The approach to the market, there's Alan mentioned two sides, in a two-pronged approach really to the market. There's the partnerships with the social listening platforms on the left-hand side there. And as I said, we've one signed, another very close to the final red lines on it, and we're in discussions with many of the others of the social listening platforms who want to bring the video to their customers as well. We have the data intermediaries and consumer market intelligence companies who we will look to partner with also, and the sales there are focused on the big video data at scale. We also have marketing out to direct to brands because the workflow video solutions for their teams to make their lives so much easier and provide them with the analysis without having to listen through hours and hours of video. We've had a number of traction with a number of customers who are signing up for our video co-pilot listening that Alan showcased a little earlier on there. So there's a lot of traction happening. And again, the partnerships will sell. It's big scale selling to their customers, and it is our route in to grow very, very quickly. And the direct to brand gives us the opportunity to build our own relationships with the brands also. And we think both sides are very, very important and offer great opportunities. The use of funds, it's really in the sales and marketing, on the recruitment side, on the market outreach, and on the pipeline building, because we see an incredible opportunity here. It's very important that we get our services out there and in both with the platforms and direct with the brands as well. The opportunity we see for Spark investors here, it is a breakthrough technology. Clearly, in terms of the ability to do it at scale, is the real differentiator. A single video can be wrapped around the current AI models out there, but nobody can do it at scale, and that's what our technology does. And it's solving a real need that is out there in the market. The social listening platforms had been saying always that they do the video. But as we mentioned earlier on, they only did it through the hashtags and what was written and text around the video. They were never getting inside it, and now they are admitting that that is the case. Hence, their real, I suppose, demand and push towards partnering with us as well, because they want to bring that to their customers. And I mentioned doing it at scale, the validation. I suppose the partnerships are the real core validation that these very large social listening that are in the business and have relationships built with brands, they're realizing that they have to bring this to their customers, because if they don't, their customers will find it in other ways. As Alan mentioned, it's patent protected, and in terms of timing, the traction is really happening now. We think it's a very good opportunity to be getting in at this stage when the traction happening on the two fronts, in terms of the partnership signed and in terms of the products that are available for the brands as well. So thank you for your time, and any questions, yeah, we're happy to take.
Very good. Okay, thanks very much, Fergal. Thanks very much, Alan. We've only got a few minutes left, so we'll ask as many questions as we can in that time. So if you could stop your sharing, that would be useful, please.
Yep.
Right, fantastic product from one person. Have you given any consideration to what the social media companies may use for this monitoring uploads for illicit content, or are TikTok, YouTube, and Meta all developing their own solutions similar to this?
Okay, great question, Paul. The answer, really short, is that these huge big companies, which are small planets unto themselves, have massive legacy software. They are very slow at innovation. It is move very, very fast and very nimbly, which is why, big companies like that acquire companies like ourselves and like Mo, because we move fast, we solve the hard problems, and then they can just ingest it and suck it in, right? That's the short answer. Happy offline to go through a longer answer for you. But right now, the only thing that the actual social media companies are interested in is how can they get their creators to create more engaging content so that they can sell more advertising. Boom.
Fergal.
Yeah, look, I
Oh, sorry,
agree.
no, I meant
Sorry,
I meant my Fergal, not you, not you. But if
it's
you would
getting
like to,
confusing. Yeah,
go on, Fergal. If you'd like to contribute, then please do.
No, I'm happy with that. Yeah. I'm conscious of the time.
Yeah, I just have a question on just on the reliability of the system detecting handling accents and slangs. So someone maybe from Donegal on there versus someone in Cork, etc.
Sure.
And the
Okay,
second
so
part of that question is what exactly is the moat here for other competitors? I think that was fairly well answered, but
okay,
if you could just
so I'm,
elaborate
I'm
a
going
bit.
I'm going to try and whack the two of those in one. First of all, everything that we've done is based on proprietary in-house technology that we have, that we spent years building up and patents around it, right? And part of the moat that we have is those patents. We own the foundation technology. It's not just patent pending, we have patents granted, and we have a family of portfolio of patents up to 30 ready to release over the coming years. So that's number one, right, on the moat on the thing. In relation to accent, slang, etc., 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 we use a combination of when Fergal at the start said we break it down frame by frame, word by spoken word, right? So literally we take each word and we break them down. If I say to you, I love Microsoft and their Xbox, but I wish their product was in more eco-friendly packaging. What's the sentiment of that sentence? Microsoft positive, Xbox maybe positive, but the packaging eco-friendly is negative, right? So this is aspect state sentiment. So breaking down and doing what we do is very difficult, and it is incredibly difficult at scale, and that's part of the moat that we do as well. So handling things like accents and slang is not just about the accent and slang, it's also about doing the same thing in multiple languages. And we have enough of a problem listening and trying to understand people like Fergal, for God's sake, from Cork and the Real Republic. But then, you realize when you look at forget about other languages, but even within the English language itself, we have, multiple accents within territories and communities in one country. And then we have the English spoken language in Ireland versus in India versus in North America versus in Canada, which is different. And the way we do this is on a technological basis is sampling. We take large swathes of voice sampling, those huge amounts of data sets that we have and that are open out there. We take them in and we say the word, word. Someone will say word, someone will say word, someone will say word. And we take all of those, we compress them down, and then we do what's called normalizing those up to the original gold standard word itself, which is word. And this is how they're all get mapped back. It is technical, it is complicated. That's the stuff that I love, which is why Fergal's there, is to actually do the business side and allow me to do the magic that keeps everything going at scale. And that's the key for us here. And talking to Kevin's question there, Google, Microsoft, etc. Why wouldn't they have their own similar in-house solutions? Because this is actually too small for what they want to do, right? Google, Microsoft, etc. You can see what they're doing, and also there's another question there about AI. You can see what they're doing on an AI level. They want to be the picks and shovels. They are the people who provide the very core foundation technology to build 100 other things. We're doing the same thing, but a level up on top of that. We can build many things ourselves. Every time someone sees our product, they have another idea. Oh, did you think of this? Of what you could do on top of it, right? So we have built a foundation technology that could either be used by a Microsoft, a Google, an Adobe, etc., or could be used by a social listening platform, or by a huge PR agency or ad advertising network like Omnicom, etc. So we are providing this foundational glue that brings all this stuff together. So hopefully that answers all those questions.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Alan, for that. And yeah, no, very technical. What I'm taking away from this is that the analysis of an hour's video in 10 seconds that heretofore has never been done, and never at the depth at which you are doing it. And that is one of the US.
That is the key. You can go in right now, Chris, and you could go into one of the AI products like Gemini. You can give it a URL for YouTube, right? You can't do it for the other platforms because Google owns YouTube. That's why you can do it there, right? So you can give them the URL for YouTube. They'll analyze it. They're not actually analyzing the video. They're analyzing these subcaptions.
But this is what you are now doing,
exactly.
and that's the magic sauce that you've kind of created within Social Voice, and that's the opportunity that Spark investors have to jump on this now to see it hopefully rocket in the future. Now we've had a load of other questions, guys. We've run out of time, so I'm going to stop it there. But thank you very much for your presentations today, both you and Moby, of course. These are two of the best opportunities that we've had on the platform for a long time. Both live on the platform, both investable right now. If you'd like more detail, and I know one of the questions was asking a bit more about the financials, we can give you that as well. But you can also request a one-on-one, a 1-to-1 with either company, and we can arrange a quick video, a quick Zoom call, or even a face-to-face meeting. Who knows? If you really wanted to. And Melissa, Gary, and Fergal are very, very happy to facilitate that for you. We're a minute past 2 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you very much for everybody's time, and please visit the new branded website and tell us what you think about it as well. So, listen, good to speak to you. Thanks very much. See you soon.